Welcome everyone to my coloring corner. I do apologize, my mic was muted. Thank you for joining me, and of course today is Fun Stuff Friday, and we have some wonderful fun stuff with the Marco Square 820 and 800 set. The 820 set is the pastel set, and we'll take a quick look at those. The lid comes completely off of them, which is awesome. And of course it comes with a color chart with all your colors in the right order here. So it does help quite a bit, especially when you're looking at the pencils or if you're going to keep them in the tray. They do have the color names in, I do believe, Chinese here on the swatch, but on the pencils they are in English, which is fantastic because my Marco Renoirs do not have any color names on them. Now the square set is the 800 set is the basic colors, your yellows, your reds, your pinks, your purples, greens, browns, and grays. And together, this entire setup makes a beautiful set. They do have a 48 set, and I will be looking at those. I don't have them, but I will be looking into them. Of course, I found them after I bought the set. But together, if you take a look at the swatches together, they have in between the two sets, if you combine them, they have a fantastic range of pinks, purples, reds, and yellows, oranges, has a ton of greens, some browns and some grays, as well as some cream colors and white. So together they make a wonderful set of 48. Now I'm hoping as I look further into the 48 set that it has more of the bright dark colors that can be combined with this set and not this set with this set. But I'm going to look further into it and find out. Now I will go through and I will do the swatch. So this swatch won't take very long at all. And then we will compare some of these to the what they're being compared to online as an alternative to is the Holbein, the Holbein pastel colored pencils. Now this is just a few of them that I pulled out that I was able to match up fairly closely in color. So we'll try them out and see if they match up with the smoothness, the grade, and that sort of thing. If they're at all a good alternative, they're definitely not going to be Holbein quality in their pigmentation, but if they are a good alternative to the Holbeins, that is much cheaper. So we will take a look at that, and we will go through and we will test a few of them against the Holbein pastels, because that's what they're being compared to as an alternative to the Holbeins. So we will test that and see how well that theory bodes. Just a few moments and we will get going on the swatch, and then we will come back and sharpen a couple of these, make sure that they can sharpen well, test them against the Holbeins, and then color a picture with them. I do hope that you have your coffee and ready to relax for about 3 minutes. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I will be right back. Now that wasn't so bad, was it? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the swatch. Of course, the first part of the swatch was the 800s, and then the second part of the swatch was the 820s, which are the pastels. So the regular colors, the base colors, and then the pastels are on that swatch as you go down. Now, this swatch has all of my Marco Renoirs all the way down to here, and then we have the start of these colors starting here, and they go all the way down to here. Now I'm going to switch you over to the other camera so you can get a good close-up look here. Of course, the Marco Renoirs don't have any names, they just have numbers, but they do all together, all three of these sets together do make a fantastic 150 set, because there isn't a lot of colors the same across the board. So the lights, like the pastels down here, there's no pastel-y colors, really pastel-y colors up in here. There's a couple that are a couple of degrees off of them, but they're not exactly the same. So all in all, you could easily mix these wonderful square pencils in with your Marco Renoirs and have a huge set of Marco pencils. But with these two sets, of course, we start with white and then we go into our yellows, a yellow and a chrome yellow, and then into our orange, our red orange, which is vermilion, reds, carmine, into our pinks, magentas, violets, and purples, and then into our dark blues. And this is the lightest one that they have in there, which is a jade green, and it's not really that light comparative to the turquoise green and the powder blue. And then we go into our dark greens and our light green. And this set here, the square 800s, only has those three greens, aqua green, a green, and a yellow green. And then into the browns, and it has a light brown and a dark brown, and then a brick red, which is a part of the brown family, into our Van Dyke brown, warm gray, and black. So it's only got one gray, and it's a medium gray. It's not really a light gray or a dark gray, but it's a medium gray. So if you were to add white to that, it would tone it down quite a bit. However, it is a warm, so it will become a little bit brown. And then we go into our pastel set, which is the 820 set, and we've got our pinks and really good range of really light pinks into oranges and really nice light orange colors into a really nice yellows. And I love the pastel yellows. They're a really good selection of yellow. Into our light greens, and again another jade, but this jade and this jade are pretty close, but they're not exactly the same. Into our turquoises and our aquatic colors, of course, into our light blues, and then our light purples, and then into what they call white rock, which to me is a creamy, almost a cream color, or a ivory. That's probably more of an accurate statement for that, is ivory. And that is our swatch. And like I said, all together with the entire Marco family that I have, this is going to be an absolutely phenomenal set of pencils for color range. Now we have this set here, which is, I'm going to push it back over in the main, which is our pastel set. So let's look at it first. We're going to put the lid on this one just to keep it out of the way so I don't dump it over. So this is our pastel set, and we have some of the pastels here from my Holbein set. I pulled as many as I could that I could match up fairly decently with the ones that are in the tin here. I didn't take a lot of time to do this. If I'm quite sure if I took a lot of time to do this, I could probably match almost every one of these because the Holbein set of pastels is 50 pencils. So comparatively with a lightness range, your Holbein set, of course, is going to be a lot better because they have so many more different shades of, say, this yellow. You know, the Holbein set has 3 or 4 lighter shades of this yellow, of the ivory color, you know, that sort of thing. So let's start with the ivory because I called it. This is rock white in the Marco listing. I'm going to put you on close up here so you can see. So this is the white rock from the Marco listing, and in the Holbeins it's ivory. So, and together they look almost exact in color. So let's grab, I have a swatch chart here. Let's see if I have a couple that I printed off that I'm not going to use, so I'll grab one of those. So let's grab this and put that there. So let's do Marco, and then we'll put the number above it. So this is the Marco 13, and this is the Holbein 116. Yeah, 116. Okay, so let's give the Marco a sharpen because I haven't done that yet, and I want to see how well they sharpen. Now, of course, I am using my Doll 133. You can also use the Deli crank sharpener. It's sharpened to a really nice point. It isn't completely centered. As you can see, that wood does move up the shaft a little bit. And as you can see here, it's slightly off center, but not enough to really worry about. You still have plenty of shaft to work with. So let's turn this light on so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to use a medium hand. I'm not using a really heavy hand, but I am using a medium hand. And I'm going to color the entire block so that I can get a good feel for the pencil, whether it flakes too much, whether it's soft, whether it's smooth, whether it's scratchy, things like that. And so far, that seems to be pretty good. For smoothness, that's not scratchy whatsoever. There is a bit of debris, so I had to brush that off. Now this one here is the Holbein Ivory. Does feel a little bit, it feels smoother but not softer, if that makes sense. It's a bit of a harder pencil. It is a little bit more, this one's a little bit more yellow than this one, in my opinion. And this one seems to be a little bit lighter, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So let's start with the next one, which is a purple. So we have this one here, which is Logan in the Marco, which is number 18. And we have lilac in the Holbein, which is number 422. Okay, so let's give this a sharpen. I may have to sharpen both of them um, because the Marco is getting a little dull. Or the Holbein, I mean, is getting dull. So let's do the Marco first. So this is Marco Logan, which is number 18. And as you can see, it is really soft, like it bent that tip over. And I am just using a medium touch here. I'm trying to use a medium touch here. I tend to use a heavy hand when I'm using really light colors. So I have to remember to ease up my grip a bit. Okay, so there is the Marco number 18 Logan. So let's take a look at the Holbein number 422 Lilac. And like I said, I could probably find almost every one of these in the Holbein set, but because I have mixed them all through and I didn't take a lot of time to undo each and every one and test every one of the 150 Holbeins against these 24 pencils. I just grabbed the ones that were very visually the same and tested them and made sure that they were very close. Now the difference in the coloring between the Holbein and the Marco is very, the Holbein is smoother. It's not as crumbly, and the color lays down a little bit quicker. I don't have to put as much pressure on it to get the color to be laid down. However, the two colors against each other are pretty close. Like maybe if you want to be generous, half a shade off, but they're pretty close, almost dead on, which is really kind of cool. All right, so let's, no, did I grab a blue? Don't think I did. I thought I had. Looks like I did. I think it was a seafoam color instead of a blue. No, maybe. Let's see. Now I gotta figure out which ones I grabbed. I think I grabbed the wrong pencil. Okay, well we'll try a blue later because I think I grabbed the wrong pencil there. And we're going to compare these two. One is cobalt green and one is Bermuda. So 23 in the Marco. And number 225 in the Holbein. And like I said, these aren't going to be exact and dead on. And if they are dead on, then that's fantastic. If they're close, that's really cool too. So I'm putting down the Marco or the Holbein first because I have to sharpen the Marco. And as you can tell, it just lays down that color. It's not needing a heavy hand. It's not even really needing a medium hand to get that good saturation of color and to lower that white spot down a bit. Now I'm going to sharpen this one. And this is the Marco Pastel. And once again, it's not taking a lot of pressure to put down that color, but we are getting some dust even with a light pressure. I am going to go over this a couple of times, just as the same amount that I did on the Holbein. So the Holbein are a little bit smoother, but as an alternative to the Holbein, if you just want a really good set of pastel pencils, definitely would give these a try. They're fairly smooth. They are a little dusty, so they do put out a little bit of dust, but they're pretty dead on for color comparison. I'm going to put another layer on this Holbein because I think I put more layers on the Marco because it was looking exactly the same. Now it looks a little darker. I think it's just because I put one layer more. Yeah, so those are pretty much, this one here may be a slight bit lighter than this one. Same with this. This one's a slight bit more red. No, I think it's just a shade lighter. This one here is a little bit more yellow than this one. Very negligible amounts of difference, personally, in my opinion. Now we're going to do the yellows, because yellow is a bright color, and we want our yellows, especially our pastel yellows, not to be too bright, but not to be too dark either, or too light, I should say. So we have cream and cream, which is kind of cool. Both of them are the same number or the same name. This is number 1 in the Marcos. So these should match up fairly well. And 127 in the Holbeins. I know I spelled that horribly wrong, but that's all right. So we're going to put the Marcos down first. And both of these are called cream in both sets. And I'm using a fairly light hand, and I'm just layering it on, and it's just going on really, really smooth. Very, very, very smoothly, which is great. Another one I am going to test these against is the square brute funer, and I will do a different video for that because I want to see if they stand up to the square brute funers or if they are the square brute funers. I don't know. I will have to look and test them against each other. Now the Holbein is a little bit more yellow than the Marco, but both are very close together. I would call the Marco more of a cream than the Holbein myself. The Holbein is more of a buttercream and the Marco is more of a cream, in my opinion. So they are easily interchangeable for color wise. Let's try the orange between the two of them. So I've got the orange here, and as you can see, they're very, very close together in shade, in color on the leads. So we have tangerine and apricot. So number 14 in the Marco and number 131 in the Holbein. Now we're going to use the Marco first. And there's no scratch, there's no stuttering, there's no weirdness going on other than a bit of dust. The Marco do seem to be a little dustier, so it releases little bits of the pencil. Now we're going to do the Holbein. The Holbein seem to put out a little bit more pigment from the get-go. You're not going to have to put in as much work layering with the Holbeins. This orange is a little bit brighter. It's very close, but it's a little bit brighter than the Marco. But the laydown is perfect. It's nice and smooth, doesn't put out any dust, that sort of thing. Now, to me, they're very, very close in color. This one here seems to be a little bit darker than this one, but the difference is so negligible that in a coloring you may not see the difference at all. They are definitely, I feel, a really good alternative to the Holbeins. Like I said, Holbeins are really, really expensive, and we can buy them in the United States now, which is awesome. However, having the budget for, you know, $500 pencils or having the budget for $20 pencils is completely different. And that's how much these were. They're $18 and some odd cents for a 24 pack of this pastel set. So, of course, I have left the links to where I bought them in the section below. So you can take a look at them and that sort of thing. I am going to do the pinks here. These are pretty much exactly the same color. Maybe a little off. One is called Light Orchid and this one's Fuchsia. Let's see if I may be looking at the wrong pencils. Nope, those are the ones that I thought were pretty close. So number 17 in the Marco and number 436 in the Holbein. Now you got to remember the Holbein set does have a lot of pastel colors, so finding and matching any at all would have been almost impossible if there weren't so many that match up. I did find, like I said, all these ones that are pretty close, if not almost dead on, or a slight shade lighter or darker. And that was just by looking at the leads and testing them on a scrap paper to make sure that they were pretty close. I didn't want to grab something that was a bright, bright, bright pink and compare it to a pastel. Okay, so I've got the Marco down. It is taking a few layers to get to the level that I want it to be because I'm not I don't want to push hard on it, because if I push hard on my Holbein, it's just going to mash it. So, and I know better than that. So again, it's a nice light touch. The Holbein, like I said, does have a bit more pigmentation, so the color is going down a lot quicker, and I'm going to get to that saturation a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. I didn't get as much dust on the Marco pink as I normally do with, or was getting with the other ones, which is really cool. And again, I'm just layering this in because I know what's going to happen if I mash my Holbein. I'm going to cry. Now I think I'm going to put one more layer on the Marco because I think I put one too many layers on the Holbein, just to see if they match up together with the same amount of color. And another thing with the Marcos is they are a really soft lead, and I am finding that I do get a little bit of a wax buildup or a buildup of color in certain areas. So if I get a little piece that sprays off and I don't wipe it away, it does cause a bit of a wax, a bit of a buildup in that area if I don't wipe it away. So I think those are pretty close, if not dead on, to a color match. I sat there chatting and not paying attention and went over the Marco with one or two more levels than the Holbein. So now I've brought the Holbein up, and yeah, they're pretty close. This one here does seem to have a little tiny bit more of the purple in it, so it's more of a darker pink than this one. But they are really, really close. They're, if I was to use them on a picture, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two of them. So the last one I'm going to compare are these two. Let's check and make sure. Nope. Is it this one? Nope. This one? Yep. Okay, so these are Deep Blush and Cosmos. And as you can see from the tips, they're pretty close. I think this one's going to be darker. The Deep Blush is going to be darker than the Cosmos, but they're pretty close. I was a little bit disappointed with the Cosmos because, as you can see, it is not completely centered. And of course, as you all know, the Holbeins does have a much thicker core than the Marcos as well. So Marco, and the Deep Blush is number 16, and the Cosmos is number 437. Alright, so let's start with the Marco. Just using a light pressure, almost a medium pressure, but not a hard pressure. And I've got a bit of a edge on there. I should have sharpened it. That's giving me more lines than I want. Okay, so there's our Marco, and this is the Holbein. Once again, I'm just using a medium touch. course, the Holbein and the Marco both lay down very, very nicely. I was really surprised on how smooth these Marcos were. Because of their price, I was expecting them to be a little bit harder. And my suspicions were correct. The Holbein does have a little bit more red in it. This does have a little bit more, well, it looks closer to a purpley pink. This looks closer to a dusty rose pink. So this one is a little bit darker than this one, so they don't match up perfectly, which isn't a big deal. You probably would tell the slight difference if you were to combine them. But altogether, I would honestly say that 5 out of the 7 are almost exact matches. This one here is really close. So 6 out of the 7, because the rest of them are almost exact. So this one, this one, this one, this one's close, but this Holbein is a little bit darker, and you would tell a difference between them. This one and this one are all almost identical. So 5 out of the 7, which is a lot. That's a lot of pencils that are well matched together. So I am quite sure if I was took a little bit more time with it and actually went through each and every one of my Holbein pencils in my case. Like I said, I have mixed all of my pastel pencils into my other pencils in the case. If you keep your pastels separate, you probably would be able to find a lot more than I was able to find. I didn't spend a lot of time with it either. I just wanted to show that they are a good, viable what is the word I'm looking for? Alternative to the pencils, the Holbein pencils. Now I was going to go through and see if I could find the one that I pulled for the blue. It's close, but it's not quite. This has more green in it. And I can't find the pencil I pulled for the blue to match it up. So we're not going to do that. We're going to move on. Of course, what we're going to do now is we're just going to take our wonderful little color sheet. I'm going to put the pencils, both the square set as well as the basic set as well as the pastel set, and we're going to grab a few of them, and we're going to of course color a little picture, and we're going to color this wonderful little picture here. This one here with our basics as well as our creams. So this one might get a little funky. So I'm going to grab a green. This is from the basic set from the C800s. This is yellow green, number 49. And as you can tell, it sharpened very, very nicely. The cores are thinner than the Holbeins, but they are really smooth. They do lay down really nicely. And they cover really, really well. I'm not getting any white spot at all, which is awesome. Now, of course, with a more toothier paper than my cardstock, you might get some more. But, of course, with a toothier paper just means more layers. Or more blending, depending upon what you want to do with it. Alright, so I've got some grains down here. I just got to do this one here. So I'm going to try to use a couple of colors from each side, each set, I should say, to give you the visualization of how they work and how good they look. So I'm going to grab this darker green out of the C800 set. And this is just called green, number 46. And once again, perfectly centered. I just love how well they are centered. They are almost perfect in the centering. Another thing I really like is that they're square, so um, they don't roll off your desk, which isn't a big deal, but you know, for people that use those lap desks, it may be a bit of a big deal. You know, if you use a lap desk and you bump it the wrong way, your pencils are all over the place. And if you tip it at all or anything like that, like I've colored in bed a couple of times and I have found that I just can't keep track of all my pencils when I do, so because they fall off of the tray. So the square ones I think would work really well for that. And if they're not identical to the square brute funers, it would make a great addition to those as well. Because the color is just absolutely phenomenal. Alright, so we're going to do the wonderful little flower here. So we're going to grab a little bit of pink. So we're going to grab this one because we haven't used it yet. And this is Light Orchid. Give it a good sharpen. And we're just going to lay it down here on the flowers. And I'm being really light with it because I'm going to take hot pink from the other set. So this one is from the pastel set. And I'm going to take hot pink from the regular set and add it to that pastel color so that we get a good color combination. And this is hot pink. So what I'm attempting to show you here is that between these two sets, and hopefully I will do a little bit more research on the 48 set. Hopefully it won't be a combination of the two sets. If it is, then it's a perfect set all in its own, and it's a little bit cheaper than the two sets on their own. So, but to show you that these two sets do complement each other very nicely, and they blend together absolutely beautifully. Like you can barely tell where I've blended that, where I've colored that together. And for those little areas that you can tell, you just go back in with your lighter color and blend it together. And it helps eliminate that line. Now I'm going to use my pastel Naples yellow on the areas here. And then I'm going to use my pastel lettuce green. And there is a lettuce green in the Holbeins as well. But I thought it was a little bit lighter than this lettuce green. So I may have missed the mark on it, but this one seems to be a little bit brittle. Of course, like I said, the the Marcos do seem to have a bit of a dust issue, so be careful with that. Then we're going to take our light brown color, which I do believe is this one. Let me take a look. Number 53. Yep. And we're going to do the bottoms of our mushrooms. And then of course we'll take our darker brown, almost reddy brown colors, and add those in. We're going to do the top parts in the lighter colors, in the ivories and the cream colors. I'd add a bit of gray, but the grays are quite a bit darker in this set. Now I'm going light to dark because I don't want the dark to be completely overrun by the light, and I will blend it in with the light color if I find that I'm getting too harsh of a line. But I don't want it, I want it to be prominent and look like a proper shadow. So these little mushrooms here. And then we'll take that light color again, which of course is still from the 800 set because the pastel set didn't really have any brown colors in it. So I put down that layer of light brown and then put the darker brown right over top of it, and then went back with the light brown just to blend it all together and brighten those colors up a little bit. Now we're going to take the ivory and the cream from that's Naples yellow. I don't want that one. I want this one, I think. From the other set, and this is from the pastel set, and we're just going to put down the light color first. And once again, they are a bit soft, so you're getting some cast off from it. It is also, for some reason, picking up a bit of the other colors, so I may have gotten a bit on there because I didn't dust. Remember to use your dust brush with these because, like I said, they do release a bit of color. And you can end up with a blending of that color together where you don't want it. Alright, and this is the cream over top of the ivory. And then we'll take that ivory, take the ivory and just bring those colors together. we're going to take this blue. So this is powder blue. And we're going to do the background with the powder blue. And I think there's a sky blue, but I have to look. Nope, that's not it. Nope, doesn't seem to be a sky blue, but there is a light blue in the medium set, as well as the Smyrna blue, which is a bit darker blue than I have here, and lighter than the light blue out of the the regular color set. Can't say the main set because it's not really the main set, I don't think. So I'm putting down this powder blue, and then I'll go through and I'll add some of this darker blue for shadows and depth and that sort of thing. Okay. I hope that you have all enjoyed this video and this wonderful walkthrough of the Marco Square Pastel and Basic colored pencil sets. I've ever since the Brute Funers came out with the square pencils, I seem to be very drawn to different shaped pencils now. Where I used to think that round was the best feeling of a pencil, now I'm questioning that, which is interesting. So I'm just going to add a bit of this darker color here in the background and into our shadow areas. I'm being very, very light-handed with it so that I don't take over the powder blue, because that powder blue is a very, very light color. Alrighty. And this is a really lovely color too. It's not too dark either. So, even if you don't buy the pastel set, the regular set does have some good light colors. They're not really, really dark, but they're not extremely pastel light either. So you may, you can still definitely color a great picture with them. But they definitely do complement each other very, very nicely. Okay, so we're going to take a bit of the green here, and let's see, what's this one? Yeah. We'll use lettuce green. Sure, why not? We're going to use a bit of lettuce green, and we're just going to do the base here. Give that look of grass. Okay, so we haven't blended any of these. So let's take our blender pencil here. This is the Caran d'Ache blender stick, and we're just going to blend this all together and make it all pretty and shiny. and well blended. And it does blend these together quite nicely. I'm not doing a whole lot of blending of because it's a really small picture. So I'm trying not to blend colors I don't want to blend together. And I have a very, very small stubby here. So I'm trying to blend this without putting my hand in the way too much. But the Marco pencils work really, really well with this blender. As you can see here on the mushrooms, it blended it together absolutely beautifully. So all in all, I'd say a really good buy. It didn't take very long for them to get to me. Um, for especially for the fact that they're coming from China. They are not available on Amazon. So you do have to purchase these through AliExpress, or if you can find them on Wish or any other um, uh, different Chinese type websites, you may be able to find them. But I found them on AliExpress, and I will leave the links to the AliExpress website that I found these on. So if you decide that you want to purchase them, you can definitely do that. Excuse me. Um, all in all, personally, if it were me and I didn't have well, it is me and I do have them. Um, personally, I think they're both absolutely wonderful sets of pencils. Together, they make a perfect combination. Apart, they would both be a really nice set. This is a great set of pastels, and this is a wonderful set of basic primary coloring. That shade of color is just perfect. This set here does have a good selection of all your color families. This set here is fantastic for all those pastel colors. It doesn't have any browns, it doesn't have any grays. Those sorts of colors, of course, you're not going to find in a pastel set. This does have a gray, it does have a black, does have a white. And all of them, like I said, lay down absolutely beautifully. They're all gorgeous. So again, definitely a win-win situation. Yes, I would say that this is a good alternative. The pastel set is a good alternative to the Holbein pastel set. That being said, the Holbein pastel set is huge. So you're not going to find all of the Holbein pastel colors in your Marco set, but there is a really good selection in this set. Other than that, of course, I want to remind you all to come and visit me tomorrow. We are going to continue with our color along. So I will be joined by Davissa from DJ's Colorful Escape, and she will be coloring with me as we color some ducklings. And we are going to be using these square Brute Funer colored pencils. So I will play with these a little bit and see if they match up. If they blend really well with the square Brute Funers, that in itself makes it worth it. Because the square Brute Funers are on sale right now, you do have a 15% off coupon. So, after 15% off of 33, I think they are, that's less than $30 for this set of the square Brute Funers, which is really good for 120 pencils these days. And they're lovely. I just absolutely love them. But that's me. I really like my Brute Funer pencils altogether. So, and I do understand a lot of times I say the names of these companies, especially if they're foreign names, wrong. Um, so, and I do appreciate everybody correcting me and everything else. But sometimes unless I hear it said the right way, sometimes I don't get it right. So I'm sorry if I offend anyone with not getting those things right, but if I don't hear it, I can read it over and over and over again, and even phonics, reading the phonics way of saying it, and I still don't get it right. I am not hooked on phonics. I'm sorry. But I would love to be able to find a website that actually, says these words um, properly so that I can learn how to say them properly. I haven't been looking, I must admit it. I am not one that thinks about it all the time. It's one of those, oh, I just said that wrong type of thing. So I don't research it as much as I should to make sure that I'm saying it right, and sometimes that's my fault. So with that, I thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope you really enjoyed the pencils. Um, I do have a bit of a surprise and a bit of a giveaway, but I'm not going to talk about that yet, and it does involve these. So once I get things sorted out and figured out, keep an eye out, keep a lookout, because it does involve these. Of course, I will leave the links to these with AliExpress down below. Any of the Amazon links that you click on my description areas, on my reviews, on any of my videos are affiliate links. An affiliate link does give me a small commission for every purchase that you make from the link. So what that does is it helps me out with giveaways as well as shipping and stuff like that, so that I can keep on doing what I'm doing. If you want to join us over on Facebook, please do. Of course, the application to get into the Facebook group does have a few little questions, so please fill out the questions. We will not accept anybody into the group that doesn't fill out the questions. The reason for this is because there are some unscrupulous individuals that are joining Facebook groups and stealing pictures that have been colored and making them into things that they can sell without permission from the colorist or the artist. So please do make sure that you fill out the application form. They don't fill out the application, so if you fill it out, I know that you're not one of them, and I will accept your application. And basically, it's just the simplest way for us to protect our members. Of course, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. It does help me out in understanding what you enjoy that I'm doing, what you don't enjoy, so I can better plan and that sort of thing, so that I'm not boring you all to death with my recordings. If you're not already a subscriber to the group, please hit the subscribe button. I do have a goal in mind, and we are creeping up there, but I do want a few more subscribers, and if I don't get them, that's fine too, but I really, really, really want to hit this goal because, yeah, somebody said I couldn't. So um, ring the bell. It does tell you every time I upload a video, which is every day except for Sunday. Sunday is a special occasion day where I will put up videos or live recordings of special things going on. Um, Wednesday and Saturday are both live sessions. The Work in Progress Wednesday is a live session at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you are in Central Time, that is 5:30 p.m. and if you are in Eastern Time, that is 6:30 p.m. So if you want to join me for a live chat, you can definitely do so on Wednesday or Saturday. Saturday is 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and 1 o'clock Eastern Standard. nope, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 11, no, oh, I've got myself all messed up now. It's 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 12 o'clock Central Time, and 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Okay, I think I got that right. So if you all want to join me in a live session, please do. I love chatting with you all, and it does help me get a better understanding of my viewers and what you guys all want to do. So if you have any suggestions, please do leave them in the comment section below. Any of my videos, I do watch my comments, and I do try to get back to them as quickly as I can. Keep an eye out for a giveaway. And I'll say that really, really quiet because I have a couple of different ideas. My birthday is coming up in April, and I think everybody deserves to have presents for their birthday, whether they're giving them or whether they're receiving them. So keep an eye out for some presents. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and of course, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. All right, guys, bye bye for now.